he wouldn't be in charge of just a disaster town of a team. Yeah, I forget his name. It doesn't matter. He sucks too much to have a name anymore, so... yeah. All right, folks, welcome back to Week 5 NFL Picks and Predictions. For the first 3 weeks of the year, I was doing pretty bad. I evened out to roughly 50% through the 3 weeks. Last week, though, I got to have some redemption, and I went 13-3. Yes! That put me up to a 68% success rate. I'm over 2/3. Let's see if I can do it again. First game of this week, we're going to have the Bears versus the Commies. Seeing as though the bear is usually the mascot of communism, at least in Russia, that's going to have to be a tough one. I'm going to have to go with the communists taking over the Bears and using the Bears as their new symbol going forward. Commanders win. Then this week's London game, a home game for the Jaguars versus the Bills. On the schedule, it counts as a Bills home game, which is kind of crap when you're playing the Jaguars in London, but whatever. Yeah, the Bills are going to destroy the Jaguars. The Jaguars are proving to be pretty decent, but the Bills are very good, very dominant, so we're giving this one to the Bills. Even though the Jaguars do get to be there for 2 whole weeks, the Jaguars will be more adjusted to the time zone. So they may hang in there a little better, but I just don't think that they have the edge over the Bills. Saints at Patriots. Yeah, the Patriots are not very good this year. The Saints are looking okay, I guess. They've been a little up and down. I'm going to have to give this one to the Saints. I think Derek Carr is a very good addition over there overall. They got some work to do themselves, but the Patriots have not been the same team we recognize for the past few years, and I think they're worse this year than before. And McCorkle Jones is not the answer there, so... yep, we're going Saints. Titans at Colts. The Titans beating up my Bengals. I should have been 14 correct last week, but the Titans had to go and fuck that all up. So you don't get picked by me, because fuck you. So I'm picking the Colts. Ravens versus the Steelers. The Steelers are garbage. Actually, for real. I would be picking the Ravens over the Steelers regardless. I don't like either team, but the Ravens are a much, much better team than the Steelers. So yes, Ravens will go in to the Steel City and get the W. Pour a fresh subscription to TSST. We're going to have the Panthers versus the Lions. That's right. That's going to be a litter box game. The Panthers are terrible. The Lions, pretty good. I'm picking the Lions. It's the safe bet, and I'm doing it. Sorry, wife. Texans versus the Falcons. The Falcons hanging in there in their division. The Texans, I thought were going to be a bad team. I think that they started a little slow, but so did a lot of teams. CJ Stroud is proving to be that guy. They're doing 2 weeks in a row. They've done very well. So I'm going to pick the Texans to keep that momentum going. They're going to get the win. Giants versus the Fins. It's the Fins. The Dolphins are winning. Plain-ass Jones sucks. Saquon's out. The Giants are not a good team. Their coach should have just stayed on the Bills, and maybe the Bills would be better, and then he wouldn't be in charge of just a disaster town of a team. Yeah, I forget his name. It doesn't matter. He sucks too much to have a name anymore. So, yeah, the Fins are going to destroy the Giants. I think the Fins are going to have the Fins are going to have 17 points on them, I bet. It's going to be like that. I mean, it's going to be disgusting. Disgusting. Bengals versus the Cardinals. God, I hope we win. The Bengals have not been doing well this year. It's very upsetting. The Cardinals are not a good team. They are better than we all expected, but that's really not saying much. If the Bengals do not go in there and win this week, and we don't even need Burrow. Bench Burrow and let him heal. He's clearly hurt. Browning can beat the Cardinals. Just let Browning go in, or even with if we lose, holy shit. So, yeah, I'm picking the Bengals. I'm going to pick the Bengals to beat the Cardinals, and we fucking better do it. Holy cow. Make sure you're tackling that like button. Eagles versus the Rams in LA. Now, truly, I do believe that the Eagles are going to win. But with the way this whole week's schedule went up, every game was kind of like, oh, of course you're going to pick that. I'm sure on the Pick'em spreadsheet, it's just everyone's picking the same teams. So I need to have an upset here in order to possibly take a lead. So we're going to have the Rams beating the undefeated Eagles. Plus, the Eagles have to lose at some point. No team goes undefeated. Doesn't happen. Why not get it out of the way now and make my pick'ems look better, Eagles? I'm going to have the Rams winning. Jets-Broncos. Actually a tough one to decide on because the Broncos are so bad, but the Jets are really bad. They did hold their own against the Chiefs, but realistically, yes, the Jets looked better than they have, but the Chiefs also looked bad. So I'm going to give this one to the Jets, though this might actually be a good game. And by good game, I mean a bad game. But it might be close. So yeah, Jets. I'm going to have Jets with the Milfmeister himself winning. Chiefs-Vikings. The Vikings have one win now. I think they're much better than a team with one win at this point in the season. But the Chiefs, even struggling against the Jets, I don't think the Vikings stand much of a chance. So I'm going to give this one to the Chefs. Now this one's going to be a good one. The boys versus the 49ers. This should be a fantastic game. Pretty evenly matched teams, I think. It's a conference game. Both of those teams are in competition trying to get number 1, 2 seed through this entire season. Every loss matters to these two teams. They're not trying to wild card. They're trying to get it done. I'm going to pick the 49ers. I think this one's going to be a brutal game. That's one that will be interesting to tune into. Packers-Raiders. Another game that might be interesting. Not because both teams are good, but because I think that they're probably evenly matched. The Packers have some shit they need to work out. The Raiders, kind of the same. I'm going to give this one to the Raiders. It's barely out of coin flip territory in my mind. I think it's a crapshoot. Both teams are going to have dramatic up and downs through this entire season, and we're just going to plan on the Raiders having their up. The bye weeks start this week, so we'll be having bye weeks through into December. I don't even know who's on bye. I know the Browns are on bye. That's the only team I bothered to check. You'd think through going through every game I could just do it by process of elimination, since I'm doing this at the end, but that's too much brain power, so I'm not going to do that. So yeah, only 14 weeks now going forward for into December. I hope you enjoyed this week's picks and predictions. If you did, please leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe so you don't miss any more of these going forward. We'll do them every single week. Thank you, and good night.